Welcome to today's discussion. I'm your host, Jason Fornicola, and my guest today is Terry Roberts, co-chair of the INSA Cyber Council and founder and president of Whitehawk. Terry, welcome to the program.
Great to be here.
You, of course, were the moderator of today's panel discussion. What were your main takeaways?
So I think I was really excited that government's actually ready for this. I think industry has been prepping the battle space for this transition, but I think finally the costs of legacy architectures are pulling government down. And so there's a realization that they can not only have better capability, but they can actually raise their assurance levels and mission support all at the same time. It's a win-win.
What are the real opportunities for virtualization for federal agencies to meet their missions?
So I think they have to do their homework up front, which is basically review all their missions and their data sets. And they have to then, by design, say which ones they can transition securely and effectively to this space. So for instance, they might want to pilot some capability transitions on the mission side, so start small and leverage those lessons learned. I think on the business function side, like HR, finance, travel, those are relatively easy to transition because they're being done in industry at scale. There's a lot of options for them, and I think they could have some quick wins.
When we talk about transitions, one of the key points that one of the panelists made was going to virtualization is a migration. It's a process.
Yes.
It's not an on-off switch. Talk about
exactly. that. So that's part of that triage process of, let's say right now they're dependent on proprietary software for their HR functions. And it's expensive and it's individual licenses, and if they want updated functionality, they have to wait to integrate it. So it would be easy for them to triage their current needs, okay, and then find the right vendor and virtualization approach and bring that in and transition all of those functions in phase and test it and use it as a teaching mechanism for their entire workforce to show the cost and benefit.
One of the key points that Shamendra Paul made in his opening remarks was no big problems can be solved individually, right? We need to collaborate. Talk to me about how important that is.
So I think when you think of the major mission areas across government, let's say law enforcement, let's say cybersecurity, intelligence analysis, right? It's never one entity. It's never one government entity that's going to have all the information and all the capability on that problem. So how do you seamlessly have them work together as a team from the very beginning? You know, what is our objective? What's currently going on? What are our options? And how do we take action? That's called collaboration on steroids.
How important is it for a sound method of information sharing to be implemented? Obviously safely, securely, but sharing information to allow us to move forward?
So I think it starts with the fundamentals of what you have in the architecture that you're using to share. As was mentioned, you know, if your basic architectures today aren't up to date, and virtualization, right, allows you to keep all your software up to date. If your software isn't up to date, it's like the windows and doors of your house being open. So you are already insecure. And if one part of your architecture has that, then that's the mechanism they can come in. So by establishing the right virtualization architecture across various entities, then you raise the assurance bar for all. But it takes time, effort, architecture, and good design.
And lastly, industry's role as a partner in this.
Well, no offense, but industry really owns this space, right? A lot of these capabilities are being developed because business globally has demanded it and are leveraging it. So they already exist. They really just need to be tailored and transitioned to government.
I'd like to thank my guest today, Terry Roberts, the co-chair of the INSA Cyber Council and the president and founder of Whitehawk. For WTOP and Federal News Radio, I'm Jason Fornicola.